the KKK and the Kartilya ng Katipunan.
What does KKK stand for?
The KKK stand for Kataas-taasang Kagalang-galangan Katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan.
It is the most important organization formed in the Philippine history.
This organization and vision.
A united Filipino that would revolt against the Spaniards for total independence of the country from Spain. One of the most important Katipunan documents was the Kartilya ng Katipunan. The original title of the document was Mga Aral ng Katipunan ng mga AND or Lessons of the Organizations of the Sons of Country. It was written by Emilio Jacinto in 1896. He was a law student at the Universidad de Santo Tomas. Bonifacio wrote a document called Decalogue, but he recognized the value and intellect of Jacinto. That upon seeing Jacinto's Kartilya, so he chose to distribute the Kartilya to their fellow Katipuneros. On April 15, 1897, Bonifacio appointed Jacinto as a commander of the Katipunan in northern Luzon when he was 22. He died of malaria at a young age of 24 in the town of Magdalena, Laguna. The Kartilya can be treated as the Katipunan's Code of Conduct.
Mga aral ng mga katipunan ng AND.
Pang-una, ang kabuhayang hindi ginugugol sa isang malaki at banal na kadahilanan at kahoy na walang lilib kundi damong makamandag.
Pangalawa, ang gawang magaling na nagbubuhat sa pagpipil sa sarili at hindi sa talagang nasang gumawa ng kagalingan ay di kabahin.
Pangatlo, ang tunay na kabanalan ay ang pagkakawang gawa, ang pag-ibig sa kapwa at ang isukat ang bawat kilos gawat, pangungusap sa talagang katwiran.
Pangapat, maitiman at maputi ang kulay ng balat, lahat ng tao'y magkakapantay, mangyaring ang isa'y higtan sa dunong, sa yaman, sa ganda, ngunit di may higtan sa pangako sa pagkatao.
Kalima, ang mataas na kalooban inuuna ang puri sa pagpipita sa sarili. Ang may hamak na kalooban inuuna ang pagpipita sa sarili sa puri.
Anim, sa taong mahiya, salita'y panunumpa.
Ikapito, huwag mong sasayangin ang panahon. Ang yamang nawala ay magiyaring magbalik. Ngunit panahong nagdaan na hindi na muli pang magdadaan. Value of time.
Ikawalo, ipagtanggol mo ang inaapi at kabakahin ang umaapi.
Ikasyam, ang taong matalino'y ang may pag-iingat sa bawat sasabihin at matutong ipaglihim ang dapat ipaglihim.
Pang-sampu, sa daan ng matinik ng kabuhayan, lalaki ay siyang panugot ng asawa at mga anak. Kung ang umaakay ay tungo sa sama, ang patutunguhan ay iaakay ay kasamaan din.
Ikalabing-isa, ang babae huwag mong tingnan isang bagay na libangan lamang, kundi isang katuwang at karamay sa mga kahirapan nitong kabuhayan. Gamitan mo ng buong pagbibitagan ng kanyang kahinaan at alalahanin ng inang pinagbuhatan o nagiwi sa iyong kasanggulan.
Ikalabing dalawa, ang di mo ibig na gawin sa asawa mo, anak at kapatid, ay huwag mong gagawin sa asawa, anak at kapatid ng iba.
Ikalabing tatlo, ang kamahalan ng tao'y wala sa pagkahari, wala sa tangos ng ilong at puti ng mukha, wala sa pagkaparing kahalili ng Diyos, wala sa mataas na kalagayan sa balat ng lupa, wagas at tunay na mahal ng tao, kahit laking gubat at walang nababatid, kundi ang sariling wika, yaong may magandang asal, may isang pangungusap, may tangal at puri, yaong di naaapit, di nakakaapi, yaong marunong magdamdam at marunong lumigap sa bayang tinubuan.
Ikalabing apat, paglaganap ng mga aral na ito at maningning na sumikat ang araw ng mahal na kalayaan dito sa kaaba-abang sangkalupaan at sabugan ng matamis niyang liwanag ang nagkaisang magkalahi, magkakapatid ng ligaya ng walang katapusan, ang mga ginugol na buhay, pagod at mga tiniis na kahirapay labis nang natumbasan. Kung lahat ng ito'y matarok na nang nangingibig, pumasok at inakala niyang matutupad ang mga tungkulin. may tatala ang kanyang dinanasa sa kasunod nito.
This is the original kartilya ng Katipunan.
Analysis of the Kartilya ng Katipunan.
So let us analyze the main purpose of this document. Let us look at the 4th and the 13th rules in the Kartilya are an invocation of the inherent equality between and among men regardless race, occupation, or status. In the context of the Spanish colonial era, where the Indians were treated as the inferior of the white Europeans, the Katipunan saw to it that the alternative order that they wished to promulgate through the revolution necessarily destroyed this kind of unjust hierarchy. The various provisions in the Kartilya repeatedly emphasize the importance of honor in words and in action. The teaching of the Katipunan on how women should be treated with honor and respect. For example, in the 10th rule, the document specifically stated that men should be the guide of women and children, and he should set a good example. Otherwise, the women and the children would be guided in the path of evil. Nevertheless, the same should be treated as companions by men and not as playthings that can be exploited for their pleasure. All in all, proper reading of the Kartilya will reveal a more thorough understanding of the Katipunan and the significant role that it played in the revolution and in the unfolding of the Philippine history as we know it.
Reading the Proclamation of the Philippines Independence.
Every year, the country commemorates the anniversary of the Philippine independence proclaimed on June 12, 1898, in the province of Cavite. It is indeed a very important part of our history because it signaled the end of the 333 years of Spanish colonization. Analysis of the Proclamation of the Philippine Independence. Our examination of the document on the Declaration of the Independence can reveal some often overlooked historical truths about this important event in the Philippine history. Aside from this, the document reflects the general revolutionary sentiment of that period. According to the document, one of the very reasons is the abuses that Filipino gets from the Spaniards. They treat Filipinos as animals. Also, the friars are using their authority to subjugate the Filipinos, meaning this document reveals something about the inequalities and injustices, and those injustices were one of the reasons why there was a revolution. It also includes the execution of Dr. Jose Rizal, the Cavite Immunity, the execution of the three priests or the Gumbursa. Do you want to know the kind of government Aguinaldo established after gaining our independence from the hands of Spanish colonization? Well, did you know that Emilio Aguinaldo was the first dictator and not Marcos? Because Aguinaldo declared a dictatorship style of government. Another thing, this document reveals the truth behind the real meaning of the color of the Philippine flag. The red and blue colors of the flag are often associated with courage and peace. Don't you know that the white triangle in our Philippine flag represents the emblem, the symbol of the Katipunan society? We thought that the three stars represents Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, but no, it represents Luzon, Mindanao, and Panay Islands, because these three places is where the revolution started. The sun represents the gigantic strides that were made by the sons of this land, and the eighth rays represents the 8 provinces of Manila, the province of Cavite, Bulacan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Bataan, Laguna, and Batangas, because this represents the state of war. Based on the document, the colors of the Philippine flag commemorates the flag of the United States of America, because history tells us that the Americans helped us to gain our freedom. But we Filipinos didn't know that we were sold by the Spaniards to the Americans for $20 million. Here's the Treaty of Paris. Ang kasunduang Paris noong taong 1878 ay formal na tratadong nilagdaan ng Espanya at ng Estados Unidos sa Paris noong ika-10 ng Desyembre taong 1878. Sa kasunduang ito, isinuko ng Espanya ang Cuba, Puerto Rico, ilang bahagi ng West Indies, Guam at Pilipinas sa Estados Unidos kapalit ng $20 milyong dolyar. Nilagdaan ito noong ika-10 ng Desyembre taong 1878 at naipatupad noong ika-11 ng Abril taong 1899. Ito ay naging wakas ng imperyo ng Espanya sa Amerika at sa Pasipiko at simula naman ng imperyalismong Amerikano. This shows that they saw this event as a significant awakening of the Filipinos in the real conditions of the nation under Spain. There was no mention of the Katipunan's foundation. Bonifacio and his co-founders were also left out. It can be argued, thus, the way of historical narration found in the document also reflects the politics of the victors. The point is, even official records and documents like the Proclamation of Independence, while truthful most of the time, still exude the politics and biases of whoever is in power. This tells us a reason on taking primary sources like official government records within the circumstance of this production. Studying one historical subject thus entails looking at multiple primary sources and pieces of historical evidences in order to have a more nuanced and contextual analysis of our past.
Just give me some time, I'll be ready. Do my makeup, bathe in my perfume. Quick shower won't take too long. I'll be done, just sing this song. So wrap me in plastic and make me shine. We can make a dollhouse, follow your design. Let's build a dog out of sticks and twine. I can call you master, you can call me mine. Wrap me in plastic and make me shine. We can make a dollhouse, follow your design. Let's build a dog out of sticks